Nexi is a versatile healthcare delivery platform designed to automate and optimize delivery of patient care. To showcase one of Nexi's many applications, we will walk through the setup and configuration of client enrollment for a new patient support program, followed by enrollment of a new client. To begin, navigate to the Program Builder under the Modules tab to create a new customer profile for our patient support program. We'll name this customer ABC Pharma and add them to a new project called Nexi Care Patient Support. Contacts within a customer profile can be assigned to one of two roles, admin and user. The admin role provides full access to all client accounts within the project, while the user role limits access to only client accounts that have been enrolled by or assigned to the contact. For this customer, we've created a customer coordinator contact called CC_account1 and assigned it admin access. Now, let's navigate to the project configuration page. Nexi offers various customization options to tailor your program to your specific needs. Here, we'll focus on the settings important to patient enrollment. Begin on the General tab to manage basic information for your project. For example, you can enable PSP enrollment by other participants beyond the customer coordinator. You can manage nurse capabilities, as well as assign settings for visits and shifts. The General tab also contains an option to customize the customer-specific ID formula for new enrollments. The Payments tab is where you can manage payment details and invoice generation for healthcare professionals based on completed patient visits or shifts. The Configuration for Groups tab is where you can manage the configuration settings for all user groups in Nexi. Groups can be created for many healthcare professional types, with administrators, coordinators, nurses, and physicians being the most common. Each group can be uniquely configured to manage what they can see and do in the application, including their access to patient files. Let's select Customer Coordinators. The client enrollment workflow lets you customize how the enrollment workflow will look for a client. The Client Editor settings allow you to customize the appearance of the Edit Client page for all user groups, including the addition of bottom tabs, configuration of how prescriptions are collected and how visits are scheduled, and more. Settings can be easily updated at any time and take effect immediately. The Client Editor form is where we can customize how the enrollment form looks for clients and how the client profile looks for Nexi users. Client profiles are highly customizable in Nexi, with a wide selection of built-in fields that can be selected for each project. Under Client Details, the registration column specifies the fields displayed during enrollment. The Editing column specifies the fields available when updating a client profile, and the Required column indicates the fields needed to save the profile. Additional profile options include client address details, prescription details, clinic details, drug profiles, pharmacy information, and reimbursement information. If the client editor form lacks a needed field, you can create a custom dynamic form with additional questions for client verification. The Reimbursement Insurance Form Settings tab manages all reimbursement-related fields on a client's reimbursement coverage page. These settings will be discussed further in a later video. The Interface Configuration allows you to configure the interface seen by clients when they log into Nexi. You can choose from over a dozen different project modules to include in their client portal. Next, the Drug Profile Form Settings tab allows you to customize the fields that appear on a client's drug profile page. For each client, you can track each drug profile and its corresponding history separately, as well as associate multiple drugs to their profile. Now that we've seen how to configure some of Nexi's key administrative features, let's walk through a new client enrollment to see your program in action. To register a new client, we will log in as the customer coordinator using the Impersonate feature on our admin homepage. As seen in the top right corner, we're now logged in as Care Coordinator 1. From the dashboard, we have the option to register new clients, search for existing ones, or review our to-do items. Let's go ahead and register a new client by selecting our Nexi Care Patient Support program. This takes us to the Client Registration Wizard, where we'll follow the workflow that we set up during the configuration stage. Enter the participant information by selecting an existing participant or creating a new one. For this example, we'll select physician. If the participant is already in the internal database, you can search for their name. If a match is found, their details will automatically populate in the fields below. Otherwise, you can manually enter their information. Then click Next. Under Client Details, enter the client's basic information, including their preferred method of communication. To create an account for this client, select Enable User Account. Then click Next. In the Address tab, find the client's address by typing it into the Search Address field. If a match is found, the address will populate the fields below. Then click Next. The Program Information tab will ask you to indicate whether the client has consented to treatment and data collection. If yes, select Yes and click Next. Finally, the Client Verification Questions tab contains any questions that were created as a dynamic form for this program during the configuration stage. Once complete, click Finish. Now that we've enrolled the client, we can view and manage their client profile using a series of dashlets. Additional details can be added at this time, including client allergies, prescription uploads, additional contact details, and notes. The bottom tabs, which were selected in the configuration phase, appear below. These tabs house various types of information on the client, including their drug profiles. We can also search for nearby providers, such as clinics and pharmacies, and assign them to the client's profile. This will help to streamline the scheduling of visits and services for this client. Next, let's add a drug profile. To start, complete some basic information about the client's drug, including their diagnosis, drug name, and supporting program. You can also list the client ID for the supporting program if one exists. The physician is automatically populated based on the program participant information from the client enrollment stage. Once saved, we can click on the newly created drug profile to enter additional details about the drug and its supporting program. The last thing we'll do is assign a nurse to our client. Choose from the list of available nurses, which can be sorted by their travel distance to the client. The list can be configured to include only those who have completed the required training or certifications for your program. Once selected, click Assign Client. The client has now successfully been assigned to a nurse. If we navigate back to our home page, we can see our client list has now been updated with the newly enrolled client. This concludes our demonstration of client enrollment in Nexi.